Well, hello, all of my students. I hope you're having a fantastic day. My name is Jay, and welcome to another episode of the podcast, Improved English with Jay. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for these next few moments. Have a great show lined up for you today, where I'm going to help you to improve your English in somewhat of a unique way. Now, if you are a regular here on the channel, you know that I enjoy reading in English. I know that it helps people to improve on their English vocabulary. It helps them to improve their fluency and, most important, their comprehension. So I have so many different videos here on the channel that can help you. And if you haven't been there, you're not a subscriber, that information is down in the description of today's episode. And this is episode number 3. Now, for those who don't know, I have another podcast, which I am going to pretty much let die down. I've been doing it for a few years, and for some reason, I can't get my subscribers to go over and listen to it. Very few do that. And so I said, in order to be more efficient, I am going to just bring my podcast here to YouTube. And so I'm somewhat starting over. I thought about bringing the audio from my podcast over here and maybe having audio episodes available. If that is something that you are interested in, let me know down in the comments section, and maybe I'll just upload the audio and have a playlist of just the audio that you can listen to throughout the week. So I have, I can't even remember how many episodes I have. It's a lot of episodes. So it would take a lot of work for me to download all of those episodes and put them here on YouTube. But I've thought about doing that. If you're interested, let me know. Now, on today's episode, I do have a story I'm going to read, somewhat different from the first 2 episodes that I have. I'm going to read the stories because my subscribers let me know they enjoy my stories. It really helps them. And so I'm going to stick along with that. You can read today's story down in the description. I will provide that. And if you would like transcripts and other worksheets, I have English tools available. There is a link down in the description. You can follow that. And those are free tools that you can take advantage of that I send out sometimes bi-weekly, like once every 2 weeks, to try to help my students to improve their English. Now, before we get into today's story, let me say at the end, I will have a quiz like I normally do here on the channel. But since this is the podcast, I think I'm going to do something a little bit different. I want to look at some comments that some of the subscribers have left over the last few days and possibly weeks. I want to discuss some of those comments, some great comments, and I want to go over those and talk about those. Excuse me, let me get a sip of water. My throat is dry. And so this gives us an opportunity to communicate through the comments. I tell you guys always, I enjoy interacting with my subscribers and students. And so they leave me comments, and I pretty much try to respond to all of them. And so let's look at some of those here on today's podcast. Let's look at this first one. This one was left earlier today, and it says, "Excellent way of teaching. I really enjoy your videos." And this is from S.N20. And I simply replied, "Thank you very much." And so I know my style is a little unique. It's not brand new. You have other people doing it, but I just try to be myself, and I understand that no one can beat me at being me. Okay, let's go to another comment here. "Hello, Teacher Jay. You're so awesome. Thank you so much. So this is from a lesson that I did, a read and repeat lesson I did earlier in the week. And they responded and answered some of the quiz questions. And so they said, "Hello, Teacher Jay. You're so awesome. Thank you so much. Yes, in this world, everyone needs to be patient because things don't go the way you always wanted." So true. And so here's a sentence that they used or wrote using the word glanced that I asked them about. It says, "When I walk alone on the road, I glanced around to see if anyone is following me." I glanced around to see if anyone is following me. Now, it would be correct to say, when I walk alone on the road, I glance around to see if anyone is following me. Now, if you use glanced, it's in the past, so you would say, when I walked along the road, I glanced or I glance around to see if anyone is following me. Okay. Now, it was a funny story that I wrote about Paul being in the bank and the lines being long, and he was getting anxious, impatient. He jumped lines and that line was taking long. And so it was a story about Paul being patient in the bank. And so one of the questions that I asked is, how would you respond if you were in Paul's situation? How would you act if you were in Paul's situation? And they said, if I were in Paul's situation, I just need to be patient, because impatient wouldn't make things move faster, even though with frustration. So you would say, I just need to be patient because impatience wouldn't make things move faster. I'm waiting for something now. It tries my patience every day because I need it quickly, but until now, I'm waiting. You can imagine how hard it is for me, so I still need to be patient. Oh yeah. Patience, as we talked about in that story, is a virtue. And so I responded, hey, just let patience have her perfect work. Hang in there. And just encouraged her concerning the English that she wrote. And that was from Miss Judette, and she is a regular here on the channel. So then someone gave me some hearts. Then someone said concerning a video that I did, how to talk about it in English. Okay. Catching up. So when you're catching up with someone that you haven't seen in a while, they said, we will celebrate by getting together next Christmas. Great job. Great job. That's a word that we talked about when catching up, getting together. Order. Someone answered one of my community questions, and that was correct. And here's another comment concerning the video catching up. They said, "Hi, Teacher Jay. How are you? I hope all is well. I'm sorry we live really far away. I would love to get together for a drink and talk about coffee." So I talked about in a video, when you catch up with someone, sometimes people want to get a drink or get some coffee together. And I talked about how I do not like drinking coffee. I never have. Sometimes coffee smells good, but I think when I was younger, I tried coffee and the taste was just not, I didn't like it. So I've never gone back. And so she responded and said, or he responded and said, maybe one day I can talk about coffee, but I drink tea at our meeting. Yeah, I wouldn't drink coffee at all. Here's another one from Miss Lucetta. She's very active here on the channel. And this is from the lesson Catching Up, how to talk about it in English. Hi, Teacher Jay. Once again, your lesson is great. I love it so much. Get together. An informal meeting or party. We have a big family get together every year. Great job. Great job. same video. The last time my friends and I got together was October last year. Since then, I haven't seen in person or haven't seen them in person because we are all busy with our lives, but we hear each other by phone. And that should be, we talk to each other by phone. And this is from Sam, and very active here on the channel. This was funny. He says, wow, how do you wake up in the morning if you do not drink coffee or tea? If I don't drink a coffee in the morning, I feel miserable all day. And so there are a lot of people like that. They got to have their cup of coffee. So those are a few comments. I'll probably go over some comments in each podcast now. There's so many more, but I want to just highlight some of them because I enjoy talking to my subscribers. So let's get to today's story. Make sure you hang around until the end. I do have a quiz, and I want to see if you can comprehend today's story and get these questions right. Let's start off. I will read through, stop, and explain different phrases and vocabulary, and then read through quickly at the end. In the heart of the forest, a young adventurer named Maya commenced on a journey through darkness. So when you commence, you move forward. I commenced to make me a sandwich, you might say. So when you commence, you're moving forward, you're doing something, you're being progressive, you're going after a goal, or you're fulfilling a task. And so here we see Maya commencing on a journey through a dark forest. Armed with only a lantern, she navigated the twisting paths with determination. A lantern. So a lantern is a tool that you usually light with fire. It has kerosene on the inside, and you light it and it illuminates so you can see your way. People that go camping usually use lanterns, but now you see people using high beam flashlights or LED flashlights. I've seen on TikTok some of these flashlights that can light up an entire room or light up the forest. Now, I am not like Maya. I am not going in the forest at night. I'm not going to do it. I may walk through the forest during the day, but at night it's too dark. I don't know who's out there. I don't know what's out there. And that's not something I would do. So she is definitely an adventurer. She's someone who doesn't mind doing something that may be risky. Would you consider walking through the forest risky? I would. Okay. And so she was determined to go through the forest at night. Not me, Maya. Shadows danced around her, and eerie sounds filled the air. But Maya pressed on. So eerie sounds. She probably heard coyotes, crickets, making a little noise, frogs. Notice eerie sounds fill the air. At that moment, the hair on the back of my neck would probably start to arise. But the forest is not the only place you can hear eerie sounds. You could hear eerie sounds in your home. Okay, someone could walk on the floor and the floor could make an eerie sound. Or someone could open a closet door and it make an eerie sound. Your car could make an eerie sound, an unusual sound, a scary sound, okay, a cluttering, And you're like, what is that? Okay. When I do my exercises, my shoulder goes pop. It makes an eerie sound. Okay. I asked my wife, I said, you hear that? And my shoulder right up in here, it pops sometime. I'm getting older. Okay. Notice it says, but Maya, I keep saying Maya pressed on. So despite obstacles, despite what she was going through, Maya kept moving forward. And that's how we have to do in life. When life gets dark, we press on. Okay. When our body has ailments, we don't let that get us down. We press on. When our money is low, we don't stay depressed or get depressed. What do? We press on. Okay. So you move forward despite obstacles or things trying to hinder you. Okay. You press on. As she ventured deeper, the darkness seemed to thicken, enveloping her in its embrace. Oh, that's very descriptive. So the darkness was enveloping her, surrounding her. Okay. Coming closer. Okay. Enveloping, like you put a letter in an envelope, or you put what is this called? You put the SD card in the envelope. So the envelope surrounds the SD card. Okay. She could feel the weight of the unknown. Come on, Maya. Pressing down on her. But she refused to be afraid. Okay, great description. Now, she could feel the weight of the unknown. So there was nothing there physically, but she felt the pressure of the darkness. Okay. So the unknown. It's just like in life, you can feel the weight or the pressure of life all around you sometime, just pressing on you. And so imagine being in a dark forest at night, in the middle of the forest. You can't tell me you're not going to feel the pressure of the unknown. Who is out here? Who's watching me? Like one of my subscribers said, they glanced around to see if anyone was following. Could be a bear following, could be a wolf or a coyote, a snake. I don't know, but you're going to feel the pressure of the unknown in a dark forest. With each step, she pushed back against the darkness, determined to find the light. Suddenly, a faint glow appeared in the distance. Encouraged, Maya quickened her pace, eager to reach the source of life. Wow. Isn't this just like life when you're going through things and it seems like there's no end to your problems, and then all of a sudden you see something happens or a glimpse of hope, and you're determined to keep moving forward. Okay. And so Maya sees some type of light in the forest surrounded by darkness, and she quickened her pace. So to quicken your pace, she moved faster. So you might tell your child, clean the room, and they're slow to move. And you say, look, you need to quicken your pace. You need to hurry up. You need to get to moving. Clean this room, okay? Or I quickened my pace because I was running late for work, okay? Or I was quickening my pace to get home to be with my family, okay? As she drew closer, she discovered a hidden clearing bathed in moonlight. The darkness retreated, replaced by a serene beauty that took her breath away. So she saw something that was shining from the moon, and it was beautiful. She was like, wow. So we have a lake out back, and sometimes when there's a full moon, the lake reflects the glow from the moon, and it's a beautiful scene, and it takes my breath away. Wow. Or sometimes when I see my wife in a dress and she looks nice, I may say, wow, that takes my breath away. Okay. But I could only imagine being in the forest and seeing the full moon lighting up an object. That would probably be beautiful. In that moment, Maya realized that the journey through darkness had led her to a place of unexpected beauty and tranquility. Tranquility being peace. She sat in the clearing, basking in the moonlight, grateful for the strength and courage that had guided her through the darkness. Basking in the moonlight. So sitting, letting the light of the moon just hit her. Some people bask in the sun, okay? They bask in the sun because they're trying to get a tan. When you go to the beach, you see people basking in the sun. Let me tell you a funny story before we read through at a faster pace. There's a neighbor I used to have, and he wouldn't go to the beach. He would bring out his mat, and he would bask in the sun in the driveway. He would have on his shorts, and he would come out and put on his sunscreen, and he would just sit there like a hot dog in an oven and bask in the sun. And me and my wife would drive by and blow the horn. He was so kind and just wave, and he'd be out there turning red, just basking in the sun. So that was funny to me. Let's get ready to read through the story today at a faster pace, and then we'll take some quiz questions. So no stopping. Let's read all the way through. In the heart of the forest, a young adventurer named Maya commenced on a journey through darkness. Armed with only a lantern, she navigated the twisting paths with determination. Shadows danced around her and eerie sounds filled the air, but Maya pressed on. As she ventured deeper, the darkness seemed to thicken, enveloping her in its embrace. She could feel the weight of the unknown press down on her, but she refused to be afraid. With each step, she pushed back against the darkness, determined to find the light. Suddenly, a faint glow appeared in the distance. Encouraged, Maya quickened her pace, eager to reach the source of light. As she drew closer, she discovered a hidden clearing bathed in moonlight. The darkness retreated, replaced by a serene beauty that took her breath away. In that moment, Maya realized that the journey through darkness had led her to a place of unexpected beauty and tranquility. She sat in the clearing, basking in the moonlight, grateful for the strength and courage that had guided her through the darkness. All right. So as we get ready to conclude today's episode, let's see if you can answer these quiz questions. What does commence mean? What does commence mean? Number 2, what was Maya determined to find? And number 3, use the word pace in a sentence. Pace. Now, pace is not the same as paste, like paste this on the wall. Pace, P-A-C-E. Remember, pace has to do with how quickly someone moves. Okay? So these are the 3 questions that I want you to answer. If you need to take a screenshot, you can, And if you cannot answer them, make sure you go back in today's episode and try to figure out the answer to these questions and leave them down in the comments section. Well, did you know I also offer tutoring sessions? So if you would like a one-on-one tutoring session, you can schedule that this week. There's a link down in the description of today's episode, and you can follow that link and you can schedule a session with me. Well, make sure you leave comments about today's episode, as well as answer those questions, because on next week's episode, I will be looking at comments from throughout the week. Well, I hope you have enjoyed today's episode of Improved English with Jay. As I always say, take care, and I hope you join me on my next episode. I'll see you then. Have a great evening.